Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the official Hermitcraft Amplified server. Tango Tech literally just walked into my base right as I started recording. This place is absolutely lovely, isn't it? I really do like it, and I wonder what Tango here is for. He's checking it out as well, he likes it, that's all good. So, in between episodes I've actually been busy. You might be able to tell from my hotbar that I have some potions. That is actually thanks to Tango Tech. I've been in the Nether, I found a fortress. It had no warts in because Tango had already been there. And I got myself tons and tons of quartz because I was on a little quartz expedition. If we just go up here and look in this chest, you will see we have a ridiculous amount of quartz right there. That is a lot. I pretty much went through the whole of my Silk Touch pick, which was probably a silly thing to do, but there you go, I got carried away. And now we have a temporary wart farm up the top here as well. I've just placed it down all over the place, so that stuff is growing. Now, my armour, I have protection on all of these things except my helmet, so I crafted a helmet a moment ago. And I thought what I would do is just enchant it, try and get some protection. But check this out. It only gives me one enchantment. Now that's what I'd expect to see if I had no bookshelves around my enchanting table. And there's actually... Is that Tango placing that torch right there? I think he's trying to use it. He's having the exact same problem that I am. Look, you see, he's probably trying to refresh it. You see, all of those bookshelves around it are connected to it. You can see the little particle effects, though they are coming from the side, but for some reason it doesn't want to communicate with it. And I'm going to guess it's because of the blocks above. However, those are not supposed to actually block the connection to the bookshelves. However, saying that, as I say it, what you can do, if you've got a bookshelf, sorry, an enchanting table in the middle like this, you can have a bookshelf at this height and at this height as well. And I'm wondering if either of these two spots in the middle will actually block the connection to the outside. That makes a lot of sense. That's probably what's happening right there. So we're not going to bother with that enchantment. I didn't really need to do it anyway. But what we're going to be doing today is building the most ridiculous, crazy, overpowered farm in the Nether that you have ever seen. I absolutely love this farm. I wanted to do it on day one, and today is the episode that we're going to do it. I will, of course, not ignore Tango Tech. I'll get back to him in a second, but for now we need to head over to the Nether. So if you look in my inventory, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. We've got a cauldron and water in case I get caught on fire. I can put myself out. I've got a regeneration potion, and I've got my ender pearls. Now what we need to do to make this farm is go onto the roof of the Nether, and the way we do that is with some ender pearls, and then when we're up there we can make a hole into the roof of the Nether using some dark oak trees. We can grow them downwards, and they should, fingers crossed, remove the bedrock and give us permanent access to the Nether's roof. And what's Tango saying here? I better go talk to him before he goes. So this farm that we're going to be building on the roof of the Nether, we need to build a portal up there to get back down, although once we've broken through the bedrock we'll be able to do that quite easily. At the moment what I'm doing is removing all of this netherrack around here, and this would be done so much quicker if I had some TNT. Now this one right here might just be the right one. We're at 1, 2, 3, so this is where our head is. 1, 2, we can add 2 to that number. 1, 2, 5, that is actually what we need. With 1, 2, 5, there's only one block of bedrock right there, so directly above that is the roof of the Nether, and what we're going to do is throw 2 ender pearls into it. We're going to throw one on the side of this block, and then we'll go up, and it's that block right there, not the one there. And this is kind of the moment of truth already, actually. All I've got to do is get up there. I've got everything that I've need. I've double checked and triple checked, wow, I'm struggling with my words today. I'm starting to get a little bit anxious actually, because we've only got really 2 shots at this. It uses 2 ender pearls. It should be straightforward. However, I've only done this sort of in a test world, in-game mode 0, but it's still not the quite same thing. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to throw 1 ender pearl, then 2 really quickly. 1, 2, and it didn't work. What way are we facing? That's worrying. We are facing north. That is the same direction I faced when I tested it. Okay, I had a little more space around me. I didn't have a 1 bit like this. I had a 2 wide one. So I think before we give this a second shot, we're going to look for a 2 wide thing. But I've just realised if this fails again, that's it. We're done with. We're over. And I think that is actually 1 block lower here. Let's get up here and check. Okay, I'm going to face west this time, and this is it. Moment of truth. One last chance. I'm going to hold down forward this time. 1, 2. Come on, let me get up. What's going on? I got 1 more ender pearl. Let's just go. Boom, throw it there, and we're up. We did it. We made it onto the roof of the Nether. That's crazy. Okay, for a second there, I really was starting to worry. I actually cannot believe this, but of all the things I forget to bring, it's dirt. Oh, my first thought was, right, let's grow these trees. I've got my saplings here, I've got my bone meal, And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, I don't even have any dirt. Do you know what? I don't know if you can do this, but we might as well test this. I don't think anyone's tried to. Nope, you can't plant it on soul sand. Probably can't plant it on netherrack. Nope, let's see if we can plant it on cobblestone. Nope, okay, so I am a silly bunny, aren't I? Oh dear. Of all the things to forget, it's dirt. We have, you know, ridiculous amounts of disposable dirt in the world. And I sit here double checking everything and I forgot to bring it with me. Do you know what this means? It means we might not actually be able to build this today. There is something else that we need for this farm. We need some slime blocks. So that means I've got to go down into some caves and look for slimes. So I'm going to see this as an opportunity to try and get more ender pearls. So I'm going to invest a little bit of time into that and see if we can get a couple back. And I'm probably confident we could. You know, if I went exploring at night, deliberately looking for endermen, I know there isn't too many of them around. They're probably hiding in the hills everywhere. But we might be able to find them. And there are some more houses popping up around here as well. There's one over there. You've got Tango's one, which is finished. And False has got a little bit bigger since we last saw this. But oh, that was silly. That was really silly, wasn't it? I'm kicking myself now. Right, let's go down into a cave. I'm going to make a big note on my computer saying, do not forget. Do not forget to bring dirt with you this time. There we go. We got one. Can't let him get away. Let's just build a little platform like this. Then we can hop up here. Look at the fella. Get angry, guy. Get angry. Can I hit you? Yeah. That's it. You're angry now. Oh, don't teleport away. Come on, let's kill this guy. No ender pearl. No ender pearl, of course. So, False has come to the rescue. Let's give her a diamond. She's going to give us an ender pearl. This is awesome. We're now going to have 3. Is she there? She's there. Hey. Where's the ender pearl? No. Apparently I'm getting my diamond back. I don't understand. It's your diamond. I don't understand. There we go. Awesome. Thank you. So, what I've been doing to get those ender pearls, I tried some caving. That did not work out. So I came up to the surface here, and in the daytime, what I did is I walked back and forth between this massive dark area over here, because there's a huge overhang, and the... I was about to say ocean, it's a bit more of a lake over there. So, as I move away, all of the mobs under the cave despawn, and then when I head back, they respawn, and there's a chance of an enderman being there. And pretty much every other time I made my way back, there was an enderman. A couple of times they teleported away during the fight, but we did get 2 ender pearls, and now we got a 3rd one from False, and that should be enough to get us back onto the roof of the Nether. Oh, what a silly adventure it has been today. Okay, there's not much more to it. I feel so nervous again. We're going to hold down forward. We're facing west. Let's double check that. Yep, that's correct. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and we're up with 1 to spare. And this time we have the dirt. Okay, right. Hopefully there isn't something else important that I've forgotten. It's time for us to start growing these trees. I think what you have to do, and I'm going to go double check, is not just grow them, but grow them with blocks above. And I'm so glad I have some cobblestone on me. There we go. It might actually be dirt that you need above it. We've also got tons of bone meal and lots of bones as well now because I've been hunting loads of skeletons. Right, let's give this a go quickly on camera. I'm going to go double check this. I might actually need to leave these here and let them grow naturally for a while. Yeah, I could be wasting my bone meal. Okay, I'm going to go look it up and see how this is done. So if you wanted to know how to do this, I'm sure all of you already know, but I've just looked up a video and found out you have to grow a tree like this first of all, then you remove these blocks right here and place down your saplings again, and then you just got to try and grow it once more. And sometimes it does that, and then sometimes it will actually grow downwards, and when it does that it breaks some of the bedrock. Now this one right here has gone too deep. You can see there's a piece of netherrack there. I thought we had actually broken through on our first go, but there's actually some more of that down below. So let's grow another one. This one should grow downwards. It did. That's awesome. That one looks a fair bit bigger than what it did before. So now what I need to do is jump in there and see what it actually broke. So once we dig down here, we're going to get to the dirt. There it is. Let's remove that quickly, and then we should be able to see where it went down. And this time we might have broken all the way through. Maybe not yet. Maybe it only goes down by 1 block and you've got to remove a fair bit to then go down again. Okay, that one went a lot lower. Look at that. That might be the one. Yes, that looks like it. That really does. Okay, let's grab our ladders. Throw down a couple of those so we can get back up. And I think we did it. We have well and truly done it. Okay, that did not take long at all. That's good because that means we can get to building this farm. And that's it. We've done it. Awesome. So, where are we now? What is this thing right here? Well, if we look down, you can probably tell where we are. We're at the top of the Nether. We're at 245, and this is where we're going to be building our farm. I got a feeling this is going to be one of those things where I'm just going to build the thing, explain it, and talk about it after. So, I might do that, but we have another little job to do before we start building this thing. First of all, let's drop down here. This is always a little bit scary. Not going to take any risks at all, mainly because of that death counter. Since that thing's been there, I have been extremely cautious, and I think that's a good thing, actually, because you're not going to die as much over time, you know? But it does make you think about it an awful lot. So down the bottom here, you might be wondering what these things are. Well, first of all, they have half slabs on top, like the portal does, to stop anything spawning down here. And these have just got vines in. These are going to be like catchers, basically. If you're falling down from up above when I'm building this thing, then I'm going to land in the middle of these, and the vines are going to stop my fall damage. But at the moment, they need to do a little bit of growing and spreading, because they're not going to work otherwise. In fact, I might go back to town and farm some. So we're going to be building the farm all the way up there in the sky, but before we do that, I would like to go to a swamp and try and get ourselves some slime blocks, because we need at least one of them to build this farm. And I could also do with some more as well, because it means I could build a few pads around the bottom here, so when I fall down, which is probably going to happen when I'm building this thing, I can either try and land in the middle here on the vines, or I could land on a slime block, which will stop all of the fall damage. So for that reason, I think what we're going to do next is head out to a swamp biome at night and see if we can find any slimes. So I've just had a little bit of a brainwave. I needed to find a swamp. I was looking at the map of the world, and I noticed that there are rivers sort of going to all of the different biomes, and I thought about this and I thought, hang on a minute, rivers are going to be a great way of travelling. As you can see, I've got a boat in this amplified terrain, so I'm not taking the direct route, I'm following the river, and it's a lot easier to get around. Now we're actually in a river right now. This is one of the things I was kind of curious about. You can see there, third line from the bottom, it says biome river, but there's no water, and I think that's probably the amplified generating this bit right here up too high, but you can see that it creates a gorge and that the river is actually here, so even where the bits are higher up, it's pretty travelable. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. And here is the river at the other side. So now if we whip into our boat and follow this thing around, where is it on the map? I've got the map on the other screen, just trying to spot it. It looks like we go around a roofed forest biome, and then after that we should end up at a swamp. So I don't see the roofed... Did that squid destroy my boat? You're getting killed for that. That's ridiculous. These things are so fragile. I think they should just make them, you know, indestructible again, because then they become useful for so many things. When they're fragile and they get destroyed easily, they just become a bit of a hassle, in my opinion. So now we've got to dodge squids as well. I don't think I'm actually on the right river. I could well and truly be on the wrong river. This doesn't seem to go to the same place, and these things are fragile. So the river ends here again, and it looks like this might be the beginning of another gorge. So let's press F3 because this river should continue going. You can see the biome is still a river around here, so we can continue to follow it and look at that. Right. And it led us right to the swamp, so it was the correct river, and there was a little bit of an impassable part that I had to dig through, but that actually worked out really well. That was a really quick journey over here, so now when I'm going to travel to different places, I'm definitely going to be using rivers. They're really easy to traverse. Anyway, it is time for me to hunt some slimes, and there's not a lot of land in this swamp, is there? So I've got a bad feeling that it might not be the ideal location, but there are plenty of swamps, so if this one's not any good, I could go to others, and that doesn't look natural to me. I don't know, it looks like someone's been there. Actually, no, I can see there's lava now. That's where the light's coming from. There's an interesting looking entrance right there. Oh my good god, we are definitely playing amplified terrain. I'm heading over to a different part of the swamp. Haven't seen any slimes yet, but now I'm just mesmerised by this landscape. Oh, it is truly wonderful around here. Look at this. I'm never going to get tired of this. I really do think you're always going to be on this map, going to different places, exploring, and just having those moments where you stop and your draw drops. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. And look at that, some water is disappearing from up top. I wonder how that happened. Maybe an enderman put down a block and chopped it off. I am getting tons of lily pads from doing this, and this thing hasn't broke yet. Anyway, I'll continue my search for slimes. Oh, what a lovely view. So another one of those moments where we stop and we have a look around at the wonderful scenery. This place looks so cool. I really want to be in creative mode right now so I can just fly around. It took me forever to get up here. But look at this kind of valley we've got that's got loads of overhangs above it. It's just insane. And what we're going to do when we do this, I'm going to press F3 and then you can see the coordinates. So if you grab the seed from the Hermitcraft Reddit and you create this in your own creative world, then you can go and check out these spots for yourself. And I think that's something we'll do from now on, because we're definitely going to be continuously stopping and talking about the terrain anyway. Right, let's try and get to this other swamp. I've ditched the other one. It wasn't big enough. There's a really big one somewhere around the end of this river. Let's do it. Let's jump. That is always fun to do. Awesome. One of the great things about starting over in a Minecraft world is that you get to look at things from a different perspective. You don't have all of this gear, all of this resources available, and I'm out here hunting for slimes. At the moment I'm kind of waiting for a full moon because more slimes will spawn in the swamp when there is one. But as you can see, some lava that's been removed over there, that went over the edge of the water and it creates stone underneath, and it got me thinking, do you know what, I can create some spawning platforms out here for the slimes. And then I was thinking, right, so we could put down loads of lava, turn all the water into stone, there'll be loads of places for them to spawn, but then loads of the other mobs will spawn as well. So obviously I've got to put down torches to stop the hostile mobs spawning. And if we head into the middle of this swamp, we're probably going to find that all of these other places around us aren't too close for mobs to be spawning, so it might be a really good idea. There is a load of caves underground as well, but to get slime spawning, this might be a really good idea. We plop down loads of lava, we let it spread over the water, we create spawning platforms, we light it up with torches, and then at night time, hopefully we'll get some slime spawning. So let's head in here a little bit further. I didn't plan on doing any of this, by the way, but it could turn out to be a really good way to get some slimes, because I haven't seen a single one so far, and I don't think anyone else has as well. So it looks like if we go into this middle area, we are actually going to be in a pretty good spot where we're kind of isolated away from everything else. But it does mean that I've got to do a little bit of caving as well to get some coal and some torches together, because I didn't come out here prepared for doing any of this at all. In fact, what I was doing is just chopping down some trees, getting some dark wood together for building the farm, because we are going to need some materials to build our farm in the nether out of. But we might not even get round to building it at this rate because it's taking so long to get these slimes together. Anyway, I'll give it a shot and I'll see what happens. So I'm just trying to gather some coal and I found myself a skeleton spawner, but in the chest there were 2 name tags, which is fantastic because one of those will actually be really useful in our farm. So I'm really glad that I found that. We've also got a couple of saddles as well. So I think this is an idea for another day. I've spent too much time over here, and with 2 buckets of lava, I did find another one. It is extremely slow, however it does feel like a good idea, but I was also thinking this is starting to destroy the swamp a little bit, and although there's lots of there's lots of swamps in the world, you know, with Amplified they are going to feel further apart because you have to travel. So I was thinking I can eventually come back here one day and remove this platform, because if I have, you know, haste 2 and efficiency 5, this will all be instant mined, it would be easy to get rid of. Although, considering the size it is now, I wouldn't really need that, would I? But that's if I do make this thing bigger. But I did get some slimes, this is alright. I went out there when we had a full moon, that was the last night cycle, so there's another one here. I'm hoping we can get enough to make 2 of these slime blocks, which will be really useful. But at least we got enough for 1, and we needed 1 for the farm. We also needed a name tag, so that's good. And it looks like we actually are going to be doing this farm this episode, because we got those now. However, there's hardly any slimes. There's literally just a couple that I got these from. They broke down into the smaller ones, so I got quite a few from it. But I'm a little bit worried because I saw one spawn and I was right next to it, and then it despawned, which is a little strange. And I've got a feeling it might be 1.8 being a bit funky with all of its random entity despawning. Anyway, right, I think I'll next be with you when we're back in the Nether. So a lot of time has passed by, a lot of time indeed. I've been building something up there. You can't see it from down here. We're going to go up the ladder and we're going to take a look. And I've actually done a lot of this so far. So I've kind of held off even from talking about this farm so far. So I'm going to tell you right now what it is. I'm actually going to explain the entire thing to you even though it isn't finished. This is an automatic XP farm and gold farm, and it's automatic in the sense that you can stand there, get tons and tons of XP and gold without doing anything. And this is actually working on what could technically be described as a bug exploit, one that I mentioned in the recent Pigman episode. As we head up, you can see some stuff happening at the top of your screen there. So one of the things I decided to build this out of was wood, because wood is very easy to get early on. You know, you can harvest a tree or grow one very quickly, and when you chop it down the wood turns into 4 planks, and then you can turn those planks into half slabs and you can get a lot of materials out of it. But the material that I chose to use was dark oak, and when I got up here and started building I realised that's actually really similar. You know, it's brown but it's very similar shade to the background, which is a sort of brownish red, so it's kind of dark to see things up here, but it's not a problem for me. Hopefully it's not a problem for you as well. So we'll talk a little bit more about the exploit itself when we get up there. I'm sure you can see some of what's going on. It looks a little bit strange, I'm sure. But down here, this is an important part. This is the collection area. So this is where all of the gold goes into, and also the XP as well, because there is an XP elevator here. So how am I going to describe this? The pigmen fall down this bit right here. They land, they die. And by the way, that slime block has a glass block on top of it attached. That's so when it's extended, the pigmen land on top of it. So the drops are there, they get pushed across onto this side, and then this one sends them up. And that's actually an XP elevator. I've got a feeling this might need to be filled in. I can't remember. No, I don't think it is. I think the XP actually just flies all the way up rather than goes through the blocks, which would be possibly another way of doing it. But anyway, it goes up there. There's another one right there, do you see that? So you got one that pushes it up and then another one just above. That's to get it up to the next bit because it only goes that far. So I spent a lot of time, you know, moving around very cautiously around here. Still haven't died, and placing down all of these blocks with the redstone on it, you know, taking my time, making sure I did this without dying, and I managed to do it. It was pretty nerve-wracking, but there's a load of redstone on the side there that takes it up to that bit. So we will actually just turn around and have a closer look at that, then we can talk about the platform at the top. And by the way, all of this farm design is not my design. I'm going to talk about who came up with this idea, etc. in a moment, because there are a couple of people involved and they need to be credited for this awesome farm. So when we get up to this bit right here, this is just the AFK area. It's kind of half finished because I've started building the surrounding platforms. So here there's going to be some glass panes. This is where the XP comes up. This is where you get to stand AFK. And all around here are some platforms. I must be very careful not to click on one of these guys because I could hit them and make them very angry. And the platforms go around in a circle. So we have 3 different heights. I'm not going to click. We've got one there, one there, one there, and then that is the roof up above. So all of these are the regular floor height for mobs to spawn on. The one up there, I was thinking of clicking at the at the half slabs up there, and that guy fell right in front of me. These ones at the top are, do you know, I don't need to go up there. They're on the half height, so nothing will spawn on the top of it. The reason that we have that is to stop ghast spawning up here, which would be a real problem, especially for me, considering I've built this out of wood. They would actually set it on fire, which is not good. So, the reason we're all the way up here in the nether should be pretty obvious. It's so lots of pigmen can spawn, and even with such a small spawning space here, we have quite a few pigmen. But the thing is, that's because I've just come up the ladder. So when we're standing up here, we need a really big platform for these guys to spawn on. And so I've kind of just done the central area here, and it means that I'm going to extend all of this outwards in a circle around here, and then we're going to have a huge spawning platform. So the trick here, and like I covered in the myth busting episode, if you didn't see it, there'll be a link on the screen and in the description box. Go and check it out if you want to know all about how zombie pigment aggression works. But the thing that I covered was that I decided to dub over my awful explanation. Let me just explain it for you quickly here. When the new pigmen spawn, they get their "Who am I aggressive at" status from their aggression timer. This is a strange line of code in the game that allows us to really exploit this, but it means that newly spawned pigmen will become aggressive socially, and they'll think they're aggressive at a particular player. So that means they drop gold and they drop XP, and it could probably be considered a bug, but it has allowed us to make this exploitative farm. So because of that, it means when we're up here, what we can do is hit a pigman, he'll run towards us to come and hit us, and then all of the other pigments will follow him, and they'll spawn and be aggressive as well. And we're actually a long way off from seeing that in action, because I've got to build a huge pad around here, but that's why I brought some saplings and stuff with me to the nether to do some farming on that sense. So, who designed this farm right here? This farm was designed by Snocrash. As soon as I saw his video on it, I knew that I was going to build it on the new Hermitcraft server, and I wanted to build this on the first episode. I didn't, but here we are, we're building it now, and it's been pretty crazy to build. So this is all his design, pretty much to the exact right there, and he's done a showcase video with a world download, so in the description box you can find a link to that. I'm going to remind you at the end of the video to go and check it out, and I also want to give credit to Twitch Nitro, because he was the first person that I saw in the community to come up with this concept. I saw his video on one day, and then a few days later other people started posting videos about it, and it looks like the pigmen have been falling down, which means this thing is kind of working already. I mean, it's getting us some gold, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so Twitch Nitro is a really cool guy. I've actually been subscribed to him for a long time. He's very smart, comes up with some cool concepts every now and then, and this was one of them. He discovered the whole way aggression worked and realised that you could use it in kind of a loop, so they keep spawning, they spawn aggressive and they die in a way that they give you gold and XP. So I'm going to put a link to his video in the description box as well, and at the end of this one I will remind you and you can go and check those out. But for now, I have been working on this for too long, I've been playing Minecraft for too long, I've got a whole bunch of little jobs and things to do, and when I come back to this I'm going to be building those platforms, making them bigger, and the next time we record together I think I'm going to be able to show you it working. Hopefully I will. It is going to be a lot of work, but I will be back with you in a moment. A moment for you, a long time for me. So, a lot of time has passed by since we last recorded. I say that a lot, don't I? That's because I have been busy. You can see these platforms have been extended. They're probably not big enough to make this thing work. What we've got to realise is that as the pigmen are going to come round and fall into the trap, new ones need to spawn for them to continuously be aggressive. So I think I'm going to wrap things up here with a quick test, and hopefully by the time we start work on the next episode the platforms will be bigger, but possibly this could work, so let's find out. That guy over there has been captured. You can see he's got slabs around him. I've got this horrible feeling like as I do this I'm going to go, oh wait a minute, I forgot to, you know, close this entrance off or protect myself here or there, and some pigmen are going to come and attack me. Let's just double check. Yep, I don't think there's any way they can get here, so let's shoot the guy. And I shot the wrong one. Of course I did. And now the farm is working. It's actually working. And the XP should come up for us right here. Yeah, well, this bit is working like a charm. Will they continue spawning? Yep, and I see a zombie villager as well. And here's the XP. Oh my god, I think it's working. And now it slows down. Okay, so maybe now... That guy doesn't look aggressive, does he? Let's hit him. Maybe now there's not enough space. And I think he's been nudged into the ceiling. Yeah, okay, so it's stopped now. It looks like there's basically not enough space for... yeah, but you know what I'm on about. Oh, I can't speak today for some reason. There's not enough space for new spawns to happening, so these platforms need to be made a lot bigger. But you got a demonstration of how it worked right there. And then this guy over here, the guy who's captured, would have a name tag on so he couldn't despawn. Obviously that wouldn't be a good idea at the moment, because as I try and extend the platforms, they're going to be angry and attack me. But the thing is, he doesn't have a name tag, so I can go down here. That guy's probably angry at me. Let's shoot him. Let's make sure he dies. There we go. Yeah, so when we go all the way down to the bottom, they're going to despawn. So when we come back up here, everything should be fine. And one other thing I wanted to mention before we're done here with this episode, I was growing some trees down there, some dark oak ones to make slabs, and I left the dirt down there. And when I was building the platform up the top, what's the one thing you don't want when you're building something out of wood? A ghast, which could set it all on fire. I saw one floating around in the distance, so I jumped off, went all the way down here, made sure he despawned, but that was kind of nerve-wracking. But that is it for this episode. I hope you have liked the project. It's been really fun to do. We haven't really seen the full effects of it. We're hopefully going to be able to get to that in the next episode. But if you have enjoyed this one, then please do leave a like. You know that it will always be appreciated. And be sure to check out those videos in the description box after watching this video. But that's it for this one. So, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.